So the season is still going as it normally does. It's week 5. But I thought of 2 different things that I think the season could do, or at some point college football could do, to make it more exciting. One thing is renew the college football's first and oldest rivalry, and maybe just do like a home and home series, because I don't know how much the Princeton Stadium can withhold thousands upon thousands of people. But essentially, you'd have a home and home series against Princeton and Rutgers. Obviously, they're 2 in very big divisions, different divisions. One's in the Ivy League and the other one's in the Big Ten. One has bigger players than the other, and one prioritizes education over the other. Yeah, I did think it'd be pretty neat. Would definitely kind of put some of those smaller, not smaller either. I don't know, just kind of put the, give a chance to have a little bit of that old spark back, even though a lot of people probably don't even know, wouldn't care, or recognize, but you could definitely hype it up before it even happens. I'm sure there would be a bunch of storylines to be had, and it would be something that I think would be great for the sport, just for a little bit of goofiness. For the next thing, I think Cal and Stanford should go back to the Pac-12, because the Pac-12 is being reinvigorated, essentially, by adding a whole bunch of smaller teams that they probably should have added before Cal and everyone else left. But I do think that it would be beneficial for Cal and Stanford to go back to the Pac-12. Maybe not in terms of competition, because the competition might be severely diminished if you're playing Boise State and who else did they add? San Diego State and like a bunch of other people. I think Washington State is still there and Oregon State is still there, so that's cool. But I do think those teams should be added back, just because I think it's stupid that you are a California team and you're flying to Florida to play a conference football game. Anywho, stop changing names of things. That's another thing. So I guess the Red River rivalry was once called the Red River Shootout. Partly I think they changed it. I didn't look into this. This is just kind of an offhand thing that I learned, that they changed it due to the amount of violence that was happening outside of the football field due to the rivalry. Don't know, but I think you can call it the shootout and you won't have any problems. But that's just me. Kind of same for the Florida-Georgia game. It was once called the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. And it has been changed to the Florida-Georgia game. What else was it also changed to? I think it had something else. I don't know what the other name was. But essentially, I think the world's largest outdoor cocktail party sounds great. I do think, obviously, that one was a little bit different because I think after one game, there was a bunch of drunkenness going on, and they were like, we can't have this name anymore. So they changed it. I still like the name. I think it sounds really funny, and it just kind of tells you how much of a party it is, even if one team's getting the shit kicked out of another of itself. Anywho. Other college football things that should be changing. I think teams should do this thing where instead of doing like this big NIL thing, they should just have a big old QR code on their big old stadium screens and say donate. Every home game. That's what they should do. And people would donate because it's like, oh, I have $4. Here you go. And they can donate any amount from 1 penny to $20 million. Obviously, it'd still be fundraising and booster stuff, but I do think that would be a subtle way of getting money for the athletes. You can do it at any other sporting venue, but I think football would be the main one. And I think when you do that, it would be all the money would just be put into a pool and divvied up into different fields of athletics. Obviously, some people would think that is not fair because like they did it at the football game, but it's like, I mean, you're gonna catch your biggest fish, your biggest thing or whatever, so just do it there. Let's see. to go to the Florida Gators for like 2 seconds. I think one of the reasons why they're not very good is because they don't have any stability. They're kind of like the Browns. I watched a video about the Browns last night before I went to bed, and how they're so bad because they have no coaching stability. And essentially, that's what Florida has been having for like 10 years. They'd have a coach for 3 years, they'd fire him. Have a coach for 3 years, fire him. Have a coach for 3 years, fire him. And not really allow a coach to like get their roots in and like start doing things. I think the last one they fired definitely should have been fired because he was like, didn't care about the job, and part of the job is recruiting. Dan. Just didn't want to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't take the job. But seemingly, that man's out. But yeah. All right, on to real college football things. I think, what was it? I think I actually did this video before, or I talked about it before in another video, how teams should have they should have a spring game and a summer game before the season starts, and those 2 games are against dog shit opponents, essentially. So if you are, let's say you're Rutgers and you need to play an opponent, and you don't want to spend a lot of money on, you can pay them like $500,000, and so that way it cashes up to $1 million. And I think the most teams pay another team to lose is like $1.5 million. I think at least that's what I've seen. So you could have a spring game, pay them $500,000, a summer game, pay them $500,000, and then have one more dog shit game during the season, pay them $500,000. So you've only paid $1.5 million to any one team, or to 3 teams, rather than like having 3 in-season games that mean nothing and will do nothing for your team. Because as a coach, you're not really learning anything. You're just kind of throwing people out there and say, use your raw talent to win me a game. And then team players and alumni and who else, stakeholders, I don't know, they all get upset because they're like, oh my god, we were so good in this last game, and why aren't we good in this one? Florida's a great example. They beat the living shit out of, actually, you know what, we're gonna use not Samford, Ole Miss. They like beat who was it, Furman, like 76-0 or something, and then lost to Kentucky 20-17. I don't know how the fuck you do that, but they did it. More on that conspiratorial thing later. But yeah, it's just dumb. It's just, why are you paying this team money to beat them so bad? And then people say, you're a number 1 team. No, you're not. You just have a lot of decent players that like people know about. Is your team actually good? Obviously not. You lost at home to a real shit Kentucky team. But that's just me. So, other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it. Those are the things that have been bugging me for the past 5 weeks of college football. These are some of the ideas I've had about how to earn money and raise money for college football and other athletic sports. So, that's it.
Say you'll learn when you get older, but that shit ain't guaranteed.